tell the people your name, where you from, and where you played ball at?
My name is Anthony Hoke. I'm from Warren, Ohio. I played football at the University of Cincinnati.
All right, all right. And man, so how long have you been involved in sports? Was football the only sport you played throughout your life?
No, growing up, I played a little more than football. I played baseball too. I actually thought I was a little better at baseball than I was at football, but I stopped playing baseball and I ran track. My last couple years of high school, my junior senior year.
Okay.
And that's about the gist of the sports that I played. Well, I played basketball, growing up too, but baseball and football were the main ones.
Okay, so when you got to high school, you stopped playing baseball and just focused on football?
Well, actually, I played baseball in high school. I stopped playing, I think, my sophomore year, and that's when I started running track.
Okay, okay. So, man, you got to tell me, man, because I heard some awesome stories about you. They say you a legend at the high school.
I wouldn't say all that, but I was just lucky enough to be a part of a good era of a lot of great players that allowed me to do what I did out there, but also a lot of other people benefited as well.
Okay, okay, man. So when you was coming out of high school, was it how was the recruiting process for you? What was that like? Was Cincinnati your the main target, or did you have other aspirations?
Cincinnati, they came along a little late in the process. Actually, I wanted to go. My dream school was Florida State, is where I wanted to go. But I also had like Michigan in the picture. Wanted to go there. Toledo, I actually committed to Toledo, but I also had another offer from Miami, Ohio, that was out there. But I didn't think I was a good fit there. And then when the switch happened, the coach change, Cincinnati is when I took the visit, and I fell in love with Cincinnati.
Nice. Did you take a visit to any of those other schools that you was
all
interested in?
of those. Yeah, I took a visit to all of them. Yeah.
How was that? How was that for you? How was the recruiting process for you?
And it was a nice experience, just being able to go to those different colleges and see what the atmosphere was like, and to see what it was like. Visiting all of those schools is a great experience. Just to even if you do it and had the opportunity to do it and just experience that. But I thought the recruiting process was pretty good.
Okay. Were you getting any? So, what was your support system like? How was the support system for you?
I mean, it was cool. I had other I had a lot of other friends that was getting recruited. So, we talked a lot about going to school, but it was just really just coaches making sure that we and my parents made sure that I stayed on top of my grades and did everything I could. That way, I could have the opportunity to play further and go to college and things like that.
Okay, man. Let me ask you this. So, at Hardin, right? And I know, is it like a funnel from like little leagues to Hardin to where it's almost like they recruiting, or y'all just ended up at the same place, all that talent?
Well, it's how masculine, they talk about how they their little traditions is there, but Harding, we have our little own. It's different now. When I was in school, it was 3 different middle schools, and we all grew up playing little league football. And then when we separated, went to the middle schools, and then we had to play against each other. And then when we got all back together as freshmen, it was kind of like magic because we already knew what each other was like out there on the field and what we all could do.
So y'all was playing together in little league, and then just ended up back with each other in high school.
From knee high to like a grasshopper, we played all the way through, pretty much.
Wow. What other positions you played, man? Because I know you're pretty athletic, and I know you didn't always have your hand in the dirt, did you?
Kind of. In middle school, I was actually played quarterback for a little bit. That's kind of what I wanted to do. But then I went to tight end when I went to high school as a freshman, and I played defensive end. But most of it was defensive end is the majority of what I played, coming out of high school, and tight end as well. And long snapper and short snapper.
Sweet. Man, was you the first person out of your family to go to college?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Oh, okay. Man, how was that for you? So you was a cycle breaker, or you the only kid?
No, I won't say a cycle breaker, but just in the high school, I know I had another brother who went to the Army, and I had some other brothers that did some other things, but I was just the only one that just really focused on sports, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Anything particular? I mean, when did you fall in love with football? When did you start competing at that level till you was like, man, I love this?
Well, it was just always growing up. 'Cause like I said, playing football with my friends, and it was always just a competitive nature that was in me. But I always wanted to be the best, and I always wanted to do my best in what I did. So it was just always being competitive growing up, and just keep playing. Like I said, we all played together as friends, and my friends played, so we always was trying to outdo each other, and it just, you know.
Nice, man. So let me see. Now, when you came straight out of high school, so you was a qualifier.
Yes, sir. Straight out of high
You
school.
came
Yep.
straight out of high school, right? Man, so was you like getting any prep for the SAT, ACT, any guidance there?
Just from I won't say I did any extra studying or nothing like that. It was just just going off, and pretty much you just got to stay on top of your books and.
Oh, okay. So your family was enforcing you making sure you stand on your books.
Well, I never had bad grades per se. I was always like an honor roll student, so that was never like a concern and things like that.
Oh,
It was just like I had to take the ACT a couple times, because my I guess you gotta score high in different areas to get a different score. But I mean, I didn't stress out over it. I'm not saying that it's easy or anything like that, but um, I was able to score what I scored, and that's how I landed there.
oh, okay, man. What about your big brothers? So your big brothers, was they excited for you when was they active fans of yours and everything?
Well, all my brothers were fans. They all came to the games when they could. I think I got like 5 brothers and things like that. So I mean, they all was able to make it when they could. So they all supported. Yeah, they all supported big time.
Nice. So man, when you started, because I mean you behind two of UC's. I mean I played with them, so I'm biased, right? I played with Pete and Frazier, who
Right.
and then you third at UC in sacks. And
Yeah.
so how was that when you
Career. I'm
huh?
third. I said career. I'm third.
Well, go ahead, break it down for me then. Go ahead
But
and break it down.
career. I'm third, but I'm a single season all time leader.
Uh, I
So I like to let them know that.
single season, you all time leader right now, right?
It's been 12 years of running.
Man, so when was that game, man? Because I remember the game for me where I realized it, man. I was like, man, this D1. They ran out with the flags. We ran through the hut, and I was just ecstatic, man. When was that game for you? When did you have that moment, like, man, I'm really here?
I think I had that moment when I got to camp, and when I was able to see people like Trent Cole, and like Andre Frazier, and like Adam Rodman, them just big dudes, and like Enzo and things like that, and just being in the weight room with them. But there was just one time where being a higher ground, and you tired after a 2-a-day, but you see Trent Cole. I go back to the room, I see Trent Cole, and they're working out still. I'm like, oh wow. So, I mean,
Oh man,
that's when I knew it was real. Like I got to
okay.
step it up.
That's when. Oh, okay. Now let me. When you, because I know Trent and Peak. I used to be like, these dudes just going lifting weights for no reason.
For no
Because
reason.
I was there. I was having fun. I was messing up. Right. So did you adopt any of that mentality while you was there? Like, hey, that's what I need to be doing after seeing the Trent Coles and the Frazier doing the extra work. Did you ever adopt that mindset, or was you just like most of us doing the assigned workouts and everything?
I did it to an extent, but not like how I should have did it.
Okay.
There were times where I would work out extra. Me and a couple others would stay after, do a little extra and things like that. But not to the extent to where, like you said, Trent Cole and like he just being there, like you say, for no reason, just being there throwing weights around the gym, just like. And I should have, took more to that, but you live and you learn and things like that. But that's just one thing where I did pick up, and if I could pass that along to like my son or something like that, man, you just gotta always be working when the lights is off. You just gotta be working.
Man, but I mean, even despite that, you still had like a stink. You would say, like most of us all have aspirations of going to the NFL and playing in the big leagues. you was fortunate enough to do that. So you was doing enough to get you there, right? How was
Right.
that? How was that NFL experience for you?
Man, it
How
was
did you like?
cool while I was there. I played a little couple other places, but playing with the Bengals, that was a great experience. Just being there in that environment and seeing what that was like for the time that I was there. But I also had times where I played in Canada. That was a nice experience, and also playing in the Arena League. So I've been around quite a bit around the football game. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity that I did have with playing football and things like that.
Nice. So you had a nice little professional run after college.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, sweet,
Yeah.
sweet, man. Because I mean, despite common popular belief, like it's only a few of us that get to actually do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's definitely honor to be able to go and because I mean, once I was done, I was done.
Right.
You know,
It's tough. I tell people, it's tough, trying to find yourself after football because, that's what you're so used to doing. And, it's like you got to find another identity outside of that. And so, but you work through it and you find it and, you just, got to find a way to keep pushing, just like in football. It's adversity and everything. And that's one thing I learned. Football teach you a lot about life. And that's
man, unpack that for me, man, because you saying. So what was it, a adjustment that you had to make once you was done playing football? Because I mean, you've been doing it all your life, right? Off season, we during the off season, it's real crazy because we like, man, what am I gonna do with all this time? So how was it when it was when it was over? How was that adjustment period for you?
It wasn't too bad. University of Cincinnati is a great university, and they prepared me for furthering my career. But I was able to go back and get my degree, which also helped me out. And then I got my degree in criminal justice, which now I'm a probation officer. And so it's I got something that keeps structure in my life, and that's what football did.
Okay, man. So because you said football taught you that, was that something that you noticed as soon as you was done? That hey, I got the tools that I need to survive in life. Did you see those tools as being applicable outside of football, or did it take you time to notice that?
I won't say it takes you time to notice that because you build connections through football. You just got to reach out and connect the dots, and that's another thing that football allows you to do is to network. And I got a great network of friends, and like I said, football's done a lot for me, and I'm thankful
Yeah,
to play that.
man. So you saying networking because that's one of the things that I always talk about. I know I'm going all the way left with it, man. I
Oh, you
apologize,
all right?
but
All right.
networking, man. So were you when you was in college? Because I say, man, one of the things that I hate that I didn't do when I was in college is network.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the key to me getting a job when I was done for the most part.
Right.
My degree was there, but if I would have had a nice network, built a nice network, that could have increased the possibility of me getting into a better field or, just because when I was coming out, I ended up working at youth detention center, but I wanted to be a probation officer, but they was like, hey, you ain't got enough years in and you don't know nobody. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing that, football puts you behind the eight ball when it comes to, like you say, experience because, you used to being out there playing football, you ain't going to get that work experience because you ain't been out there. So, I was lucky to get a start in the criminal justice field per se because it was already some Bearcats in place there that allowed me to put my foot in the door. So that's, it's, connect. It's all about connecting and networking.
Yeah, man, nice. Because I mean, a lot of people just go to college, especially us football players who play football, hang around the football players only, and don't establish any other people, build any other relationships other than that.
Right.
Now,
Right.
Who's real good at that, and you probably seen him at work is Bate, right? So at college, this dude knew everybody. I'm like, Bate, how you know him? Bate, how you know him? And it was like this dude knew everybody, which afforded him different opportunities that we didn't get because I was just hanging around with my other homeboys.
Yep. I definitely know.
Yeah. So you seen him at action because Bacon's still around the university, and I'm like, dude, this dude keeps it going. But
right.
how important is not only it's building the relationships with your teammates, but also networking with the other people around. How important would you say that is for your college experience?
I think it's real important because, not only do you build that brotherhood with your football team, because that's what that is, a brotherhood, but you also can go out there and see what it's like for another person or someone that's outside of football. That way, football, you talk about that, but then, sometimes you may want to get away from football and experience something, and that's okay too. But, that's what a girlfriend's for, Gotta be hanging around with other dudes, but you definitely gotta, but it's cool to go out there and get out there, but not too much because different people have different goals and things like that, and when you're in college, you kind of want to stick around what you're around. You don't want to venture off too much because that's why you're there to focus on that.
Okay, all right. So man, on your recruiting trip, was they selling you the dreams everywhere you went?
I wouldn't say that. No, I was no Maurice Claret coming out of high school or anything like that. But but I just got the regular. We'll play you at this position. You got this player in front of you looking at this or he this year, and if you come and work hard. That was kind of what I was told coming out of college.
Okay. So they was giving you a real glimpse into hey, you gonna have to work to get this. Okay. So when you got on campus, it wasn't no surprises. Like, what was the culture shock that you experienced when you actually got on campus and camp?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a culture shock or anything, because that's one of the reasons why I came to the University of Cincinnati, because I felt it was people that I could relate with. But just seeing the work ethic and them players out there really busting their butts in the weight room and running 6 in the morning. That stuff different. Out there in the snow, we was out there in the snow, and like I ain't never been out there like that. So this is totally different, and you just gotta be used to it,
Yeah. All right. And then so it wasn't too much adjust. Now, what was the biggest adjustment that you had to make? Was you a redshirt freshman? Did you come in and play?
No, I came in and played as a freshman. I was actually a Conference USA Freshman of the Year. Yep.
So you felt, was there any adjustment that you felt you need to make that you can recall, like when you was as a freshman, like, hey man, these dudes are strong? Because I heard the stories about the freakish things you used to do in high school. but when you get to college, you get some dudes that's a little bit freakish too.
Right.
But, so was there anything any big major adjustments that you think you had to make when you was coming in as a freshman?
Just I would just say the work ethic, because you got to get used to that, and it was an instance where you can't be afraid as a freshman, pretty much. I was put in this drill where I had to go head up with Jamar Enzor. You can't just back out of that. It's either you got to go hard or go home. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about that one time afterwards, and that's when and he told me these freshmen really coming in here, and I was like, yeah, like, well, we got to prove a point as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's in football, you got to just build a name for yourself, and that's how you kind of get out there. You can't back down out there on that football field. You can't back down in life, and that's just the approach that I took with it.
Yeah. So you can't get in the middle of the drill and be like, time out.
Or try to back out, go get some water or something.
You know how we used to do a pop water? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna be fine.
Right. You can't do that, man.
Yeah. You can't do the count, man.
But if you want to play, that's the stuff you got to do,
Yeah. You got to go out there and prove yourself, especially amongst the dudes, man. Because that's where it really counts. Like, once the teammates start really believing in you, you'll see them start opening up the way for you.
And it was just, being an honor. It was one time where I was actually playing nose in a package where it would be Trent, Andre, Mike Wright, and I think
wow,
and I would be the nose. Like,
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's 2 Super Bowlers right there with Frazier and Mike Wright. Then you got Trent.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I'm right there in the middle with all them. So
And then who was in the middle? Enzo was in the middle at that time too, right?
Well, he played middle linebacker, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So what was that? What, 4, 5 dudes right there in the NFL?
Yeah, and then you got Holly. Holly was back there.
Man, that's a crazy front though. Phrase, Cole, and you.
Mike Wright.
And then Mike Wright.
Yeah.
That was a crazy ass front right there. Oh man, that's dope right there. So what was your day to day? What was your day to day like in college? What did that look like? How was you spending your time?
A lot of it, they structure you out pretty good, as far as, practice. Rather it be like 6 o'clock in the morning, then, you got class. And then after class, pretty much around 2, 3 o'clock was practice. And then pretty much from there to 7 or 8, you with football. And then from there, it's kind of like study hall or going to get dinner. And then by then it's, back to the room and get ready for the next day. Kind of like that was kind of what it was like.
Yeah. And yeah, man, because that's a glimpse into the other side. Because most of the time, especially coming from high school, you don't know how much of an obligation football is when you get to college. Like, you don't know that's all you're going to do, eat, sleep, and drink football.
Right.
Especially when it's, time to amp it up. You know what I mean?
That's it.
So, yeah. So that's a big adjustment from high school to college, just all the dedication and time that you actually put in.
I had to learn the hard way. Won't get into it too much, but D'Antonio made sure that I made it to every class and things like that. So, it's really important, and it makes it easier, just to, like I said, they put a lot of structure in my life, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, because what do you think it would have been like without the structure?
So I wouldn't have made it through college at all. Wouldn't have made it. It's too easy to go left. It's too easy to go left.
Hey, because I mean, me and Ty Keith talked about it, man. Without the structure, even with the structure, we still was finding ways to mess up. Like, yo,
you will. You will.
Yeah.
Any little second you got.
Now, when did you realize what you had at stake? When did you realize the opportunity that you had, at your grips?
As far as like getting NFL looks and things like that.
Yeah. Going to just being able to change, your family possibly. You know what I mean?
I would just say
about to dream.
Definitely, as I was, playing my junior year, I was, just being out there more. I was, like I said, lucky enough to be a 4-year letterman, and we always had scouts at practices and things like that. But they were coaches at pulling rooms, like you got scouts coming in looking at you. But it was really around my junior years when I, started seeing my name, getting out there, getting looks and things like letters and things like that, and it was just, just a great experience and things like that. But that's when it started, and then we had the coaching change, and then Brian Kelly came, and so that kind of interrupted a lot, but not too much. But you still gotta do what you do out there on the field and things like that at the end of the day.
Yeah, because they came and got you for that, right?
That's right.
That's what y'all came to pay me for.
Right.
Is to play football. Nice. All right. Let's see. If you were talking to the young Hoke, what would be some of the advice you give the young Hoke?
Man, stay in that weight room.
Stay in the weight room?
Stay in the weight room. You can't really do nothing about size, but you can always get, I'm not as far as size, but as far as, your height and things like that. I think that was one of the things that worked against me. But, as far as building a motor and, work ethic and, and want to is just something that you just want to get out there and do it. And you got to just live that lifestyle. And that's what I would tell the younger me, like, do you want it or you don't? Because you got to really, like, eat, sleep, and breathe it, at the end of the day. And that's how you get there and you stay there.
Yeah, man. Because it's easy to get sidetracked. And so you grew up in Youngstown too?
Warren.
Warren. Okay, so that's what outside of Youngstown, right?
About 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So when you get on campus, like the distractions is all over the place. Was there anything that you Were you getting caught into the distractions on campus that was there for you?
I won't say I was getting into the distractions, more than any other student, but it was one time where I got shot, and that was on campus. So it's
Huh?
very,
Wait
it's
up, back up. What'd you say?
Yeah, this was after, and it was after a spring game. It was directly after a spring game. We had a spring game. We went out that night. This was after my sophomore year, I believe. The old players come back for the spring game. We was on the corner of I don't know. I know it was on down there by Bellevue and the corner that Stagger Lee's is on. It was right there at that intersection. We was at an apartment there. We was going our own separate ways, and then this car came up, and he rolled down the window and just started shooting.
Wow!
Just so happened to get hit. So it's very easy to fall off into something that is not good.
Wow, man! So this just happened on a random night out, hanging with the fellas, and some dude just randomly pulled up,
pretty much,
and started letting go.
Yep.
Where you get hit? You got hit? Where you get hit at?
I got hit in my foot. I appreciate you said Dolly drove me to the hospital. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that probably threw y'all all the way off, huh?
Yeah.
Now, did that change the way y'all was moving after that? Did that change the way you moved on campus?
A little bit, but it was a freak accident. But that can happen to anyone at any time. But I won't say that it stopped me from doing what I did. I still went out and things like that, but I was a little more cautious. But I was around campus, but now totally, campus has totally changed from when we went to school and what it is now.
It's really a campus now. It's becoming really more of a campus.
It wasn't like that when we was coming to school. So Bellevue was just 2 streets over from campus. You got to park your car over there to walk to class some days. So.
Oh man, I never knew that, man. I missed that one.
Yeah.
Man, how long did it have? Was it during the season or out of season?
That was
spring game, you said, right?
That was a spring game. I didn't miss no games. I was lucky enough, Bob and them some good trainers and things like that. They kept me together every day, but it didn't touch a bone, so I was all right.
Oh, okay. So it was just all flesh.
Yeah, it was all flesh. Yeah.
Okay. Man, so a young dude coming up, and you got a chance to mentor him or give him some insight. What is some insight that you would share with him?
I would just say, stay on your mission, and you there for a reason. And, keep that reason, dear to your heart, because, it'll take you to where you need to be.
Yeah, so stay focused on why what you actually there for, and don't get distracted by because a lot of times we get caught up with the quote unquote college experience, you know what I mean, and lose track of what I'm actually there for. And then when we start having a good time, we think that good time, we start overindulging and stop exercising the discipline that it took to get us there in the first place. So that would be the piece of advice that you give a young man is, man, make sure that you stay focused and stay driven to what you actually coming there for.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Man, so anything else, man? Let's see. So you played for the Bengals, then you went to the CFL. Where you played at in the CFL?
The Hamilton Tiger Cats, and I played for the British Columbia Lions.
Oh, okay. How was that over there, man? Because how was that for you coming from Warren all the way to Canada?
Canada, I love Canada. I wish I could go back to Canada. It's just different, a different way of life. It's just, you see different things, different people. I love Canada. It's totally different from America, and that is just totally different. I like it.
Okay, how long were you over there?
I was over there for the season for both of them. So just for I lasted the season for both teams. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So, man, I definitely appreciate you sharing your time, man. And then, again, like I tell everybody else, man, hopefully when the platform get bigger, I can have you back on, and then we have some young dudes come in and ask you questions, man, and maybe you can directly answer their questions for them.
I love to have the opportunity,
Yeah, man. And well, man, again, I definitely thank your family for giving me your time, and thank you for giving me your time, G. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. Well, thank you. You have a nice night, man. I'll hit you up.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace.
Yep.